Hey everybody, welcome to Collider Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeVries, and this is a daily show where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us this morning is Dennis Tzeng.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Collider Movie Talk. It's the first Friday show of this year, 2017.
Woo! Also here is John Rocha.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I love that we're all wearing Star Wars shirts.
Yes.
But I'm super jealous of Sinead's shirt. Straight out of Donuts, that's awesome.
Thank you. It's a Christmas present. Also here is David Griffin.
It's been a while since I've been on Movie Talk. It's great to be back, bringing the TV flavor to Movie Talk. You know, see, hopefully I still got my knowledge down. I know what I'm talking about.
All right, what's up first?
While fans are still mourning the tragic death of Carrie Fisher, the folks at Lucasfilm are faced with the monumental task of deciding how to proceed without Fisher's General Leia. Though Fisher completed her work on Episode 8, THR reports that her character was poised to have an even bigger role in Episode 9, with at least 2 major scenes planned for Leia in Episode 8 and 9. They include a reunion with Luke Skywalker and a confrontation with Kylo Ren. Episode 9 director Colin Trevorrow is due to arrive in Los Angeles next week to meet with Lucasfilm to decide how to proceed. But on a lighter note, a Utah-based man created a petition to make Star Wars' Leia an official Disney princess. The petition asks the Walt Disney Corporation to hold a full ceremony inducting Leia as the newest Disney princess. As of this morning, the petition on change.org has over 56,000 signatures. Dennis, your thoughts on the situation faced by Lucasfilm?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. We're, still all sad over Carrie Fisher's passing, but obviously Disney still has to figure out what they're going to do with their property, and it's a difficult one, especially if you had read Bloodline. That book was centered around Leia right before, it takes place before Force Awakens. You can see how integral she is in the storyline of the new trilogy, and you didn't see that much of that in Force Awakens, but I think in Episode 8 and 9, they were probably planning on making things a lot bigger. They mentioned a couple scenes in there. I don't know if they're going to be in 8 and they've already shot them, or if they're planning them in 9, but they're supposed to be reuniting with Luke Skywalker and then also with her son Kylo Ren. We don't know how they're going to alter those things, so it's a tough thing for them to do, and I'm sure they all of them over there are still mourning that. As far as the petition goes, look, do I think Princess Leia should be an official Disney princess? Yes, I actually thought she already was. I thought when Disney bought Star Wars, they already made her one. Am I going to sign a petition for it? No, not really. There's more important things to sign petitions for. This is not one of those things. I mean, this one is something I agree with. It's not like something like earlier this year where they had that guy. He started a petition to shut down Rotten Tomatoes because of negative Suicide Squad reviews. It's nothing like that. But I just feel like, I don't know, petitions should be kept for more worthwhile things. Rocha?
Yeah, I echo what you're saying about the mourning. Obviously, we're all going to be in mourning for a long time. She really left a very strong footprint in a lot of people's lives, not only just as Princess Leia, but as an actress, as an entertainer, and as a woman, as a person, speaking about these issues of mental health and her own relationships. Like, you watch any of her stuff on HBO that she did, those one-woman stand-ups, they're fantastic. And so it's such a loss for all of us, and especially, obviously, for the Star Wars franchise. I think what we saw Tarkin in Rogue One is a blueprint for what's possible. People are like, well, the Leia one wasn't as good. Sure, because she wasn't going to be on a screen as long, so they didn't spend as much time with that one. And I think, for me personally, I wouldn't have an issue if they did that with her. Because Peter Cushing himself left a pretty big mark himself in the horror movie world and whatever, and people knew him, and no one got offended that they did a version of him for the film. So I think that's certainly possible as we go forward. It's going to be something, because it sounds to me like something out of Washington, D.C., that he's flying in and they're having these secret door meetings and they're trying to figure everything out. But that just tells you the importance of this property and this franchise and how it's been reborn so much that so many people are affected by it and want to see what happens. I personally don't think they should write her out. I think they should find a way to keep it in somehow, some way. And because you want to see that reunion, and hopefully that happens in Episode 8, and you want to see that confrontation with Kylo. That has to happen. No one else is going to have as much weight, especially if you've killed off Han Solo, which now I wonder if they're going to find a way to bring Harrison back, to have that confrontation instead of Carrie Fisher. So I wonder. It leaves a lot of questions. And as for the petition, it's from a great place. I got no problem with it. I think I'm with Dennis. I'm not going to sign it, but it should happen. It's just weird for me because she's brought over she was already a princess. She wasn't created by Disney, so she's brought over to be a Disney princess. So it's okay, like I'm cool with it. But she's not really a Disney princess. But I would have no problem with it if she was.
David.
I signed the petition this morning, so I feel kind of bad for signing it now.
Don't feel bad.
No,
you have a right to sign it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't sign it. I'm just saying personally, I'm not gonna sign it just because I feel like there's more important things in petitions.
No judgment. No judgment.
If you want to sign it, that's fine. It's not like the Rotten Tomatoes thing where I'm like, this is just silly. I agree with the sentiment that's in the petition.
Absolutely.
Well, back to Carrie Fisher. The problem with the visual effects, it really took me out of Rogue One.
It did?
With Tarkin and Leia. It kind of looked like a video game. And if I'm playing a video game, that's fine because that's what I'm playing. But when I'm watching a movie, I want to see unless I'm watching an animated film, I want to see the actors' natural faces. I want to see their reaction. When I'm sitting next to John Rocha, and I can see that he's actually saddened by the loss of Carrie Fisher, I see it because of his eyes. I see the way you're reacting. I see the emotion, the weight that's pulling you down. But when I see a visually designed face, it just takes me out. I'm like, I'm watching something different. I'm not watching a real person. Even though we are watching a movie, they are acting. That's the whole beauty of acting. You have a good actor, they pull you in. When I see a visually altered face, it takes me out. Yeah. I feel no emotion, and that really, I think, for me, hurt some of Rogue One. But I do think that Carrie Fisher should be an official Disney princess for sure. She's the ultimate princess in my book.
I wonder if the visual effects will have advanced to the point by the time nine rolls around where the issues with Tarkin can be resolved, because it was as close as so close. It was just in the eyes at times and in the face a little bit that you didn't really sense the person was looking at the person.
There has to be,
but it was close.
There has to be somebody in Hollywood, in London, wherever they need to get the actor from, that needs to eat, that needs a paycheck, who has the sunken cheeks, who looks enough like Target's like, when am I going to be able to eat? Where's my paycheck? There's got to be somebody like that they can put in that film, give that person a role. Like with Leia, I know this is movies, not television, but we've seen replacements coming before. Sure. Dennis and I were huge fans of the Spartacus series. It was sad, was it Andy Whitfield when he passed? Very sad, very young man. But they replaced him and moved on. It worked. We've seen it in other things like Game of Thrones. Actors go away and they replace them with other people. It can work. It's a sad thing.
Yeah, but I don't want to see General Leia replaced by. Actually, I'm in the camp of I don't want to replace it. And I also don't want to see a CG character.
Wow. Okay.
I just.
I think they should write her out.
I wasn't bothered by
neither
what we
was
saw in Rogue One. But, I mean, Peter Cushing, we haven't seen him in that role in such a long time, where with Carrie Fisher, we just saw her a couple years ago. I don't feel right seeing her again in a CG form. I don't know how they're going to change the storyline, because I feel like she probably was a really important part. And I think, man, it's a tough thing for them to do. And I don't want to see Harrison Ford back.
It's certainly in the mix. It would have to somewhat be in the mix, right? Because you never saw his body, you never saw a funeral, you never saw anything. So who knows? But we're looking at this film 3 or 4 years down the road. So the possibility could be that we'd get over that, and a CG.
But they're going to have to alter things that they already shot for Episode 8.
That's true.
Because they have to see what can they do for 9. If they've written some stuff into 8 that can't be. That needs to be changed, then they have to do some reshoots, and it's.
Well, that's certainly the track record of what they've done. Like, they did those massive reshoots for Rogue One, so it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, it's a lot.
Does it worry you with these films moving forward? Just all the hands in the pot. Is too much interference, you think, at times?
They seem to keep succeeding, though. Yeah. They seem to keep making the money.
As long as there's someone there to oversee it all, I think when people talk about the Marvel versus DC thing, you have Kevin Feige, who's overseeing all of the Marvel productions. Yeah. Where in DC, it seems like, well, is this guy in charge or is this other guy in charge? We don't know. And so it seems a lot more scattered. So it seems like more of a committee, where this one, where Marvel, and I think, with Kathleen Kennedy, I think there's one person overseeing it all. Sinead and Wendy, what do you guys think about the petition for Princess Leia to become official Disney princess?
I mean, I see both sides of it, I guess. I just think that she's not technically a Disney princess because, like Rocha said, Disney didn't create her. With that said, though, there is a new princess that they just inducted, Princess Elena.
Yes.
She's like on a TV show on
Yes.
Disney Junior. And I also was like, what the hell? Like, what did you do to deserve this?
You didn't earn this.
Yeah, so and she's like she's at Disney World and Disneyland now. They had a huge ceremony for her. So when I saw that, I was like, we didn't even get like a big movie or anything like that. It was like a
picture
straight to
Sinead
DVD.
at Disneyland booing this induction. You didn't do
so
it.
yeah.
Conversation.
But so that's the only, I do see both sides of it. But real quick, on Carrie Fisher, if I had to choose between a CG Leia and a replacement, I would 100% choose a CG Leia because I wouldn't be able to think of the movie the same way. I would be so stuck on this new person that I would have to get used to. And then also the Rogue One stuff, it didn't take me out of the movie. Yeah, I noticed it, but it didn't take me out. So I don't think that maybe technology even 3-4 years down the line, sure they would be shooting it next year, would be a little bit better. I already thought Rogue One CGI was so much better than Civil War. Like I thought that was already technology has gotten so much better. So you never know where we are in like a year. Maybe it would be believable. Maybe enough time would pass where we accept it. But I would never ever want to see them replace her.
Wendy?
Yeah, I feel the same as far as the Disney princesses go. She was already a princess. Disney didn't create her, so I can see people wanting to make her like an honorary or being nominated to be a Disney princess because now she Star Wars is under the flag of Disney. But at the same time, she's just okay. May get a little flack for saying this, but I think Leia is just so much better than any Disney princesses out there. That is just, she's on a whole other category. She created her own category. And then as far as Carrie Fisher, CGI or recast, I don't want to see a recast. I didn't have too much of a problem with the CG for Tarkin. Leia in Rogue One looked a little funky to me, just a little bit. It was the eyes, but like Sinead said, like in a year we don't know what kind of technology we're gonna have. It's already gotten better. It's gonna keep getting better. So I would rather have, if they have to have Leia in future films, I would rather have CGI than another actor trying to be Carrie Fisher, because you can't try to be Carrie Fisher. You are or you aren't.
All right, what's next?
Marvel and Disney released the official synopsis for their upcoming Thor Ragnarok. What We Do in the Shadows filmmaker Taika Waititi directs a sequel which finds Chris Hemsworth's Thor sharing the screen with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. How did the two characters come to be together? Well, the new official synopsis kind of has the answer. In Marvel Studios' Thor Ragnarok, Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe without his mighty hammer and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his homeworld and the end of Asgardian civilization, at the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. But first, he must survive a deadly gladiatorial contest that pits him against his former ally and fellow Avenger, the Incredible Hulk. Rocha, what do you think about the new official synopsis for Thor Ragnarok?
Everything that's come out about this film gets me more and more excited about this particular entry into the Thor franchise. Like, I like the first two films. I will watch them whenever they're on FX or whatever. I will watch them. I like them. So this one seems like they're going to put extra time into it, extra attention. The idea of a buddy film with the Hulk, the fact that you've got in the synopsis that they're going to possibly fight, like it's even more fantastic. And Planet Hulk, they're going to put that in there. And there's even rumors about Beta Ray Bill possibly showing up. Like, there's so much that's going on in here that doesn't feel like they're shoving it into it. It feels like a natural, organic thing that's going to be super fascinating, especially with Ragnarok, because Ragnarok insinuates the death of some of the gods that we've come to know in the first two films. So who knows who's going to survive? We could see the death of Thor, the death of Loki, the death of Odin, the death of any number of them, Sif, what have you. So there's a number of things that could happen. So already the stakes on this film are so high for the future of the Thor franchise. And if he does die or he gets pushed away, this may mean that we don't see him in the next film, but we see him come back in the second part of Infinity War. So there's so much about this, and the director is so great. I watched again What We Do in the Shadows again the other night. That's such a funny film and so good, and I want to see what he does with this. And the plot line itself, what we got here, the synopsis, seems to work perfectly for this kind of director. A buddy type film, what they're going to confront. So there'll be a lot of humor combined with the action and the serious stuff that they're going to go through. So I couldn't be more excited. So I love it.
David?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pumped. I've always been a big defender of Thor: The Dark World. The Thor: The Dark World's in my top 3 of Marvel, next to Guardians of the Galaxy. I just love the sci-fi universe that Marvel's created. So I'm really excited about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and we get Thor Ragnarok this year. It's going to be an awesome year for Marvel films. Also, too, the casting. We get Jeff Goldblum's in this, and also Tessa Thompson. Just kind of been sneaking around as a chameleon lately. I mean, she's in Creed, and she was in Westworld, you know, as a completely different character. Now she's playing Valkyrie right now, which is cool. I love the characters in this world, and it's going to be a buddy flick. Remember the Comic-Con footage we saw with Mark Ruffalo and Thor, like what he was doing during Civil War, like why he wasn't around. He has a roommate. Like, I want to see, I mean, you could make a television sitcom on those two guys. The fact that we're going to get a full-length film. Also, Planet Hulk, if you're not familiar with the story, one, you can get the graphic novel. You can get that on Amazon or Comixology, wherever you want to get that. Also, there's a Marvel animated film that's really good called Planet Hulk. And you kind of get a sense of where this story is going to go. Now, Thor isn't necessarily involved with that story, but they're going to combine the two, which is just awesome because we've always wanted a Planet Hulk story on the big screen, and we're going to get that along with Thor. This should be awesome.
So the Planet Hulk animated one's actually a good one. With those animated movies, both from Marvel and DC, they're always hit and miss.
Yeah.
They're like, some are good, and it's just some just kind of boring. The Planet Hulk thing's been rumored for a long time. They thought they were going to make a standalone Hulk film using that storyline. Looks like they've integrated into Thor. Now the question is, you know, how did Hulk get to that planet? Because I think in the comic book version, he got tricked by the Illuminati to take a space shuttle because they thought he was too dangerous, and they sent him, and he kind of missed the planet he was supposed to go to. How does Thor get there? Why is he missing his hammer? And another thing is, Hulk at the end of Planet Hulk, or what after they battle, is Hulk going to stay there, go back to Earth, or he's going to join Thor when he goes back to Asgard and help him fight and save Asgard? And in Norse mythology, I guess Ragnarok signifies the death of many of the gods. I don't think we're going to see maybe one of them.
Yeah, maybe Odin. I
could see Odin.
It's my feeling it's going to be Odin because Loki is like parading as Odin right now, so they've got to come back and address that too, which we saw at the end of Thor: Dark World. Like they've got to figure that out.
We saw. Remember at Doctor Strange, and in the end credits, he's saying like, I'm looking for my father. They're trying to find. Well, we know Doctor Strange is going to be involved in Thor Ragnarok too, so that should be good.
And Doctor Strange references Loki.
About
controlling Loki, and Thor's like, no, I can control him, blah, blah, blah. So, there's like I said, there's so much about this that looks like it's going to be an awesome film.
All right, guys, now we're moving on to buy or sell. Sinead, what do we got first?
Disney and Marvel announced yesterday that the People vs. O.J. Simpson Sterling K. Brown has been cast in Ryan Coogler's Black Panther. The Golden Globe-nominated actor will take on the role of Njobu, a figure from Black Panther's past. The movie stars Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther alongside Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, Lupita Nyong'o's Nakia, and Angela Bassett as T'Challa's mother, Ramonda. Black Panther is scheduled to arrive in theaters on February 16th, 2018. David, do you buy or sell Sterling K. Brown in Marvel's Black Panther?
I completely buy this casting. Also, if you don't watch TV Talk, we did an episode recently called The Golden Remotes. We did awards. Sterling K. Brown won our most valuable player of our most valuable performance of 2016 because he got the Emmy for People vs. O.J. as Chris Darden, and he also is on this great show called This Is Us right now. He's a fantastic actor. They're kind of making up this character for him to inhabit, which I'm kind of curious to see how he's gonna fit in with everything. This is just such good news. Like I said about Luke Cage being Marvel's riskiest show that they've ever done because they weren't afraid to embrace this kind of African-American heritage that exists in Harlem. I'm so pleased to see that the Black Panther cast is, for lack of a better word, black. The cast is black, and that's good. It's these strong actors and actresses that are going to make this film, I think, fantastic. I'm so excited to see this.
Rocha?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this guy's so fan. I watched every single episode of this series that he was on. He was so great as Chris Darden, and he got you to understand this guy's thought processes, what he was fighting in the black community as a black man, confronting this idea of defending and then not doing so well, and being against possibly black people because he defended. He did such great work, such great work. It's such a great series. If you haven't seen it, go and enjoy it. And yeah, I agree with you, David. I think it's great. They're leaning into this because it's the Black Panther. It is going to have to be African. It is going to have to be black, and that's okay, and it's going to be accessible. Marvel has a great track record of making these properties accessible no matter what angle they're taking, both TV and film. So to me, this is a great thing. He's a great addition. I mean, I get caught up in Major League, the fact that his name's Njobu, but like, that's me being stupid. That's just me being stupid, you know. So, but I like that they're creating this character, which means we don't know which side he's going to be on. If he's going to be good or evil, you know, we obviously have Andy Serkis coming in. Will probably be one of the main villains as well. So there's all that happening. But the cast itself, Forrest Whitaker, all these people that are coming in, I just can't wait to see how they make this work. And this guy is another very, very strong actor who's getting his opportunity to jump from TV to film to see what he can do.
Yeah, I buy this as well. As you guys mentioned before, he had a great performance, and he was kind of overlooked in People vs. OJ because Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran, you had Sarah Paulson as Marcia Clark. They kind of got a lot of the acclaim, and he
Travolta,
and I don't know if Travolta got much acclaim.
Well, but
that
he was
one,
in
but
it.
he was
He's a
in
big
it.
name, yeah.
But he he got the Emmy, so he's starting to get recognition. He's joined an already impressive cast. You had Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, you had Lupita Nyong'o, I think Forrest Whitaker's in this. Now he's joining. This is a fantastic cast. So I'm really, and Ryan Coogler, what he did with Creed, Fruitville Station was the first movie that I saw that he did. Fantastic. So I'm looking much forward to this film. All right, what's next?
At the press event for M. Night Shyamalan's Split, ComingSoon.net spoke with the witch actress Anya Taylor-Joy, where she revealed that she has seen the New Mutants animatic director Josh Boone created for the project. Taylor-Joy has long been rumored to be a part of the X-Men spin-off film, but stopped short of confirming her actual involvement. However, when pressed if she would look forward to reuniting with her Split co-star James McAvoy, Taylor-Joy did let slip that he is already a part of the movie. Dennis, buy or sell James McAvoy reprising his role as Professor X in Josh Boone's New Mutants?
I guess I'll buy that he's coming back. I don't buy that this is any definitive proof that he is, that she's a person who isn't 100% confirmed to be in the film yet. I think she's just in talks, mentioning that someone she worked with, she thought was already in it. The bigger question this raises is there had been speculation late last year about how they may possibly reboot this X-Men universe, and Bryan Singer is not going to come back to direct it. So if they do use McAvoy in New Mutants, that means this would be tied to the Singer X-Men universe still. And how does that fit if they plan on rebooting it? And how does this story fit in terms of timeline with Age of Apocalypse? So there's just a lot more questions raised if he's back. But I think storyline-wise, it makes a lot of sense. David?
Yeah, I buy that, and I'm also just excited about Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, The Witch is in my top 10 films of the year. I think she, like, we were talking about this, backstage about how she's just kind of, becoming this really great actress. I think who's going to be around for a long time. There's a lot of presence. I remember when I saw The Witch, I was like, who is that? I want more of her. So if you put her and McAvoy together, I buy he's coming back, and I'll buy them in that franchise because it's been a little bit messy. First Class and Days of Future Past, I think, were pretty strong. Apocalypse, kind of dropped the ball. But I like the cast. I like the people they've chosen to be in these films. So I'm going to trust them to hopefully produce another great movie for us.
Yeah, I mean, I like this idea. I totally buy it because you have to have some kind of continuity, I think. And I think the one person who keeps escaping any scrutiny, or the two people that keep escaping any scrutiny from all these films are McAvoy and Fassbender. And so why not? Why? And if you're going to go back to the Claremont run, Professor X is there, so he helps the situation. He's not. I don't think he's going to be an integral part. I think he's going to be like the occasional cameo, initiate the team, get them together. Then the team figures out how to work. And he probably puts them through their paces in what's the room where they all work?
Danger room.
The danger room, all those kinds of things. So I think there's space for him to have a part that's just big enough, but not overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? So it overwhelms the New Mutants and the characters and the actors coming in to do this. And I agree with you. This actress is so good. Even in the trailer for Split, you're like, this actress is fantastic. Who is that, right? She has that kind of vibe to her, and much like Daisy Ridley, whenever I see her, there's not an inauthentic moment, not an inauthentic second on screen, and that's very rare for me when I'm watching an actor. And I think she has one of those gifts that she's very natural and real in what she's doing. So I'm super excited that she might be a part of this, and I love the idea of McAvoy. I think it totally works, and I think he's the one that's going to be the perfect anchor to get people in who did like the original movies, or the kind of recent trilogy, to get people to get on board with that. And I think he's the perfect one to do it with.
So if you guys had your choice, would you want New Mutants to be a continuation, or do you want to see a rebooted X-Men universe?
I'd rather it be its own separate thing, and the only carryover I want is.
But do you want
Professor
it to be
X.
still part of that?
Sure.
That X-Men existing.
Make it
universe?
kind of like the Marvel expanded universe. They're still connected somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I
that
would
would
have
be
a
fun.
problem
versus rebooting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a
Yeah.
problem with that.
You don't want rebooting.
Mm.
No, I don't want to reboot.
I don't think it's
Okay.
necessary because there are some. I mean, then if you reboot, then you have to recast Magneto. Fassbender is fantastic as Magneto. You have to
Yeah.
take him out. I think Jennifer Lawrence still has one good Mystique movie in her to come back because she really, and there's nothing negative. I mean, Jennifer's got a right to do what she wants to do, but like you could tell in Apocalypse, she wasn't 100% dialed in.
100%. She mailed that thing in from
not good.
across
I don't wanna-
the across the
In
country.
case I see her on the street, I don't want her to hit me. I'm just saying.
She's a fantastic actress,
I know,
but
but
she mailed that thing in.
she did. And so you want to see her have another shot at this thing. And there might be a way down the road to kind of.
The only big question is what we do with Wolverine.
Yeah.
We know after
With
Logan, 'cause we know
yeah.
Hugh Jackman has said that he would like to see Tom Hardy. I think that would be awesome. I think the recast of Wolverine is going to be the big,
Yeah, that's a good
that's the big one.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
In advance of the 30th anniversary of Child's Play next year, the horror film franchise centering on the iconic Chucky doll is about to bring the good guy back to life. Cult of Chucky, the 7th feature, will begin principal photography on January 9th in Winnipeg, Canada. And to celebrate, EW released a short teaser trailer that works as a little catch-up to all of the past 6 movies. The film will pick up where 2013's Curse of Chucky left off, with Nika Pierce confined in an asylum for the criminally insane. The movie will be released later this year, just in time for Halloween. Rocha, buy or sell a 7th Chucky film with Cult of Chucky.
Okay, so I'm not on Nightmares, so I'm going to apologize to all the Nightmares crew ahead of time. But I will say, yes, I totally buy this. If you're in a 7th movie, that means there's enough people who want to enjoy this character and who love Chucky. And Chucky's one of these like interesting characters in the world of horror because it's unsettling, it's a doll, it's unsettling, it's a knife, but Brad Dourif does such great voiceover work with this character that you can't help but like the character. And these movies get cheesier and cheesier as they go along, but they're cheesy in the right way. They're cheesy in a way that's endearing and for horror movie fans. And people like me who are outside the horror movie universe can watch it and still enjoy the mentality and the idea of these kinds of films and every one of these installments, from Jennifer Tilly to from the original, the fact that they're bringing the original guy back from the first one, all of that, it just speaks to like this great. It's almost like a love letter to this franchise, what they seem to be doing with this particular installment. And so for me, I totally buy it. I think it's gonna be great.
I guess I'll buy it. I mean, I'm also like you. I'm not too familiar with this franchise.
Yeah.
I watched the first one a long time ago when I was much younger, but I do sell this teaser trailer.
Yeah, the teaser is great.
No, I sell it.
Oh, you sell it?
I sell
Oh.
it.
Right. The putting together of you didn't like the putting together. That's great.
To me, it's like anyone can make this thing. Like a fan could, take old footage and just put it together. It was fine, but I just sell it in terms of marketing. It's like they're just announcing that they just started to shoot. I mean, usually, they put out a teaser trailer after they've gotten something going. I don't know. David, are you a fan of the Chucky franchise?
Well, don't bias him in any way, Dennis.
I think you just need to let some things just rest. Just put,
yeah,
put it
okay.
to bed. I enjoyed the first one, so I'm going to sell this. Some franchises, like Alien, for instance, I think there's a little more mythology, a little more meat on the bone. I'm not sure how much more meat on the bone Chucky can chew off.
Well, there's not
I
any
think it's
meat.
just maybe let's just put it down. Let's throw it in the garbage.
Oh man, I see a lot of angry tweets to David from Chucky fans.
I don't know. I like the first one. I just don't need to see more. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh wow.
All right. All right. What's next?
Entertainment Weekly revealed a new set of images and plot details for Pixar's Cars 3. New director Brian Fee revealed the movie will find Owen Wilson's Lightning McQueen discovering he's not the young hotshot anymore as he goes wheel to wheel with new villain and high-tech racer Jackson Storm, voiced by the Social Network's Armie Hammer. McQueen also finds a friendly face in new trainer Cruz Ramirez, voiced by Cristela Alonso. She's described as sunny and optimistic and comes to McQueen's aid to help him rehabilitate and get back on the track to show Jackson Storm what's what. Cars 3 hits theaters on June 16th. David, buy or sell the new plot details for Pixar's Cars 3.
Speaking of other things that need to be thrown in the garbage.
Oh, yikes.
Yikes.
Hot
I
take.
am
Burn.
selling
Hot take.
Cars. I'm sorry. All right, Cars is not a horrible franchise. My issue with Cars is that John Lasseter, especially him, John Lasseter's wife, that's her favorite franchise, Pixar franchise. There's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. He's a powerful dude. He can make whatever movies he wants to make. But there are other better franchises in the Pixar universe that could be expanded. Like, I know we've been waiting forever for Incredibles. I mean, even a fourth Toy Story when that comes out, Up, Wall-E, all these great stories that I think are stronger and have better characters than Cars. The first one was enjoyable. The second one was a bit of a letdown. I just don't think we need a third Cars. Now, we're buying and selling the pictures here. I actually love automobiles. I love cars. Like I like Motor Trend, and I subscribe to some car channels on YouTube. So I actually buy the pictures. I really enjoy the pictures. The film franchise as a whole, I wish I'd put to rest and develop other either new stories or make sequels of other franchises they already have established, as opposed to the Cars universe. I'm just kind of tired of seeing it.
I see in David's head there's like 2 graves, and there's like one has
Chucky
and
Cars.
And Cars right next to it. I mean, as far as the plot details, I guess I'll buy them, but I do agree with you in terms of the franchise. I don't hate the franchise. I didn't watch the second movie because the first one wasn't a horrible movie, but it kind of bored me. I remember like dozing off watching it, so I just don't have that much interest in seeing a third one. It looks like they're refocusing back to Lightning McQueen. I think that the second one was mostly on what's that comedian?
Oh yeah, Mater.
That character. But that teaser trailer too it seemed darker than your normal Pixar fare with the car crashing, very realistic looking as well. Yeah. Rocha, are you buying a Cars 3 and the plot synopsis?
Absolutely, I'm buying it. And for what you just referenced, Dennis, that trailer threw people, and people were split on that trailer when it came out, because people were like, what? How is this a kid's film, or how is this a Pixar film? But Pixar does deal with these very serious issues. I mean, the first 10 minutes of Up is like a heart punch, a heart kick, and so it's like, so they do these things. So what you're seeing now is, what's interesting is it's coming full circle in that now McQueen is the old guard, whereas McQueen was the young upstart in the first one. Yeah, the second one is a stumble, definitely. I agree with that. It wasn't as good, but they have a right to make a third one to try to repair this situation. And it's very relatable. We just did a No Country for Old Men on the Cinephiles, and we talked about this idea of getting older. What does it mean? And so there's something here to explore too. Like, what does it mean seeing your dad get older? What does it mean you getting older? So the great thing about Pixar is they make these films that are multi-generational to watch, and so they do affect you. So we're seeing something here, and I think Jackson Storm is a great name. First of all, I would love to name my kid that. That's a fantastic name, and the designs are amazing. It's interesting. I like Cruz Ramirez. I like that Cristela is getting a shot here to voice over this character and see what she can do with it. It's fantastic. So to me, there's a lot of things that they're hitting that I like. And I like Armie Hammer. I think Armie Hammer deserves a shot to kind of be rehabilitated from Lone Ranger. So I think I liked him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. So there's a lot of things here that I actually buy and I'm looking forward to. And I think they can repair this franchise with a really good third installment, and then leave it alone. Then you can bury it and do whatever you want to do, David. But at this point, unless you want to do Planes, unless you like Planes, which is a whole other franchise. But I like this idea, and I buy it. And I think they're going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, Armie Hammer's playing a similar character that he did in Social Network.
Right.
He's supposed to play a character that was kind of born with the silver spoon in his mouth, and there was talk in the article about how this Cars is supposed to be about millennials and how the younger guard with their technology, and then how Lightning McQueen can't deal with all this new tech and whatnot. Wendy and Sinead, are you guys looking forward to Cars 3?
I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I loved the first Cars. I thought it was a great movie. And then I thought the second one was okay. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like great at all, and especially in comparison to the first. I feel like if the second one had done as good as, or was as good as the first, I would understand a Cars 3. I don't understand why they're even making this movie, because I feel like the fan base for it was never really there after the first one. Everyone just kind of fell off. And they tried to have it at Universal. They did all this stuff with it, and no one was latching onto it. So I don't even get why there's a 3. That being said, I do believe that there is still a possibility it could be a good movie, because I do like the first one, and I love Owen Wilson, and I love Armie Hammer so much. And I think maybe, just maybe, could be way better than the second based on what I've seen from it. But it's tough to say, because it was such a huge fall off for me from the first to the sequel. So I don't really know.
Yeah, Wendy?
Well, I mean, if we're basing it on the images, I'll buy the images. Just like Sinead, I like the first Cars, and I understand the audience is very divided on that. That's fine. It's just, it's just a movie. It's a cartoon. It's animation, an opinion. But I don't really understand why we even got a sequel in the first place. And it didn't move the story forward as far as Lightning goes. I don't know. I had no interest in seeing it. This one, however, the plot is more closely related to the first story. Now, this is what we should have had instead of that second one, I think, where they go to Tokyo or something like that. And the trailer is a little bit darker. We see Lightning McQueen getting into some sort of accident that, like, could end his career. So it's a little bit more dramatic, piqued my interest.
Yeah, I think the reason why they made the second one, now the third one, is toys. Merchandise.
Right.
Yeah.
They were able to sell a lot, despite the kind of lukewarm reception of the franchise from maybe older people, kids ate those toys
I was
up and
telling
bought-
Wendy, my little brother was absolutely obsessed with cars. We had like his entire room was cars, bedspreads, like lamps, posters. We had all the toys. And the second movie, they heavily focused on Mater because Mater was the standout, right? Was the funny little thing about from the movie. So those toys like blew up, but they made bank on merchandise. Like there was cars, everything. So I think you're right that was the main reason that they made a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Now we're moving on to box office predictions. This is brought to you by our friends at AMC Theaters. This is the segment, our weekly Friday segment, where we talk about what we think the top 5 movies opening this weekend are. David, what do you got for your top 5?
Okay, so I think Rogue One's going to hold at number 1. I'm going to put Tzeng at number 2. Hidden Figures at number 3. Hidden Figures actually had a good Thursday night. I want to say it's like 1.5, 1.6 million. Had a good Thursday night. I think we're going to have Underworld at number 4. And La La Land, I think it's opening a little bit wider. Going to go number 5 with La La Land. Because I think that's getting a lot of positive buzz. People are talking about it more, and it's still. I know, like my parents don't live in a big city, so I know they were hearing about it. Now it's out at their local theater, so I think more people are going to go see that around the
All
country.
right. Mine's pretty similar to yours with one change. I definitely have Rogue One number 1, Sing at number 2, Hidden Figures at number 3. That's a movie that I definitely want to see. I talked to Christian about this where I didn't like the name of the movie, but he said it works within the context of the film. I just think if it had a different name, I think it would have been more marketable. But I have liked the trailers I've seen. I actually put La La Land at number 4 and Underworld number 5. Underworld, they're not screening anywhere, not getting. There's no buzz about this film. I know there is a small group of people who are huge Underworld fans that will probably go see this film. I like the first film, and I actually like the third film, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I just don't have any real desire to see this. Was this 5th one?
Yeah, the 5th one.
5th one. So I feel like it's going to drop to 5. And I think La La Land, because of all the buzz, because Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are in it, and they're getting a lot of praise for their performances, I think more people will go out and see that. Rocha?
Yeah, my list is basically Dennis's list. I agree. Rogue One, number 1, Sing 2, Hidden Figures 3. Hidden Figures is getting a lot of great buzz, and it's like 92% or 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a really high score on Rotten Tomatoes. So people are going to go and see this film. I think it's a good story, and it's the right time to tell this story. It's way overdue actually to tell, but it's the right time now. And what we're seeing and what we're seeing more and more of the African American experience being embraced, being highlighted, and different factions of it being seen on screen, on TV, and on film. So to me, it's the right time for it. I do think La La Land 4, absolutely. Now, as a fan of the Underworld franchise, and I've seen every single one, I go with one of my ex-girlfriends. She's a writer, Cece Pleasance. We go and see every single opening night of these Underworld films. It's just our connection and what we do because we just enjoy the cheesiness of it. For the people who are Resident Evil fans, I don't get that franchise, but for whatever reason, I get the Underworld franchise so much more. And I think Kate Beckinsale is fantastic. And I love that she keeps coming back to this film, except for the one with Brona Mitra. She keeps coming back to do these films. And I think because she really does a great job with this character. And now she has a daughter in this one. So there's like, generational stuff going on. So to me, I think, unfortunately, though, there's not enough people like me, which is why I don't keep it at 5. There's not enough buzz for this thing, and I can't imagine it'll blow up the theater to get it into the 3 or 4 spots. So I'm happy to put it at 5.
You and Schnepp should have a debate because he loves the Resident Evil
God,
franchise.
I don't understand why.
So you could defend the Underworld franchise, and he defends the Resident Evil franchise.
Sounds like a Collider show,
Yeah.
a new show. I don't know. Versus.
Yeah. All right, guys. Before we move on to mailbag, I'll remind you that we're going to take live Twitter questions at the end, and also that we have other shows coming out today. Today we have the Movie Trivia Schmodown. We don't have an actual match today, but we have the Best of 2016 that's coming out at 2 p.m. today. We have mailbag coming out on Saturday at Sunday at 10 a.m. Best of the Week on Saturday at 2 p.m. Also, we come back with Movie Talk. I want to talk about something else. Maybe if you guys have been following a bunch of us on Instagram or on Facebook, on Twitter, we've been talking about, you've seen Jerry Johns has come to Movie Talk. We actually have a new show called Awesome Tackler with Jeremy Johns that is debuting on the Verizon Go 90 network, which you can find at go90.com, or if you download the app on your phone, you can check it out. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. You can click on there. You'll see Jeremy on there, and you also see a bunch of Collider folk on there. He does his monologue stuff. We have panels. We have sketches. We have a video game segment. So that's actually out right now. There's 3 episodes up. Go check that out. We're actually going to play a short little clip for you right now.
First made a trailer for Transformers The Last Night. I want to talk about that. Then I realized this is about a decade of disappointing ass Transformers movies. It's why? Orson Welles' final role, he was Unicron. How do we honor that? By putting him in a Michael Bay film. Just call it Transformers The Last Catfish. Like every Transformers trailer, you're like, yeah, and then you walk out of the movie like, no! Telephone wires and cars really take me out of the Final Fantasy world, though.
This is a modern Final Fantasy. See, they're even experiencing a car breaking down.
Nothing's more modern than that. All right, pushing that.
Oh, look at that 3D booty, though. It's stretching and rendering and just fine. I would remember this forever.
Actually, is there something I can call you other than Doc?
No. But what are you wearing?
I don't know. I'm in between studios right now. I just rented it.
Toby, listen.
Peter, look, up until about 9 years ago, I was on my own. Successful, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And people loved me.
But that was before Iron Man.
So there you have a short little sample preview of the Awesome Tackler show. Go check it out, go90.com or the Go90 app on your phone. Now we're moving on to mailbag. Sinead, what do we got first?
Sean Michael George writes, "Greetings, movie talkers. Thanks for taking the time to answer my question. What movie would you say has the worst ending that you have ever seen? I would have to say the 2010 film Skyline. I thought the movie was okay and passably fun until the very end. We saw the heroes, despite their best efforts, get abducted by the aliens. This would have been the perfect place to stop. But it was almost like someone had a brilliant idea in post-production and decided to add that one scene that still haunts me as one of the worst scenes in cinematic history. For those who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. For anyone else, it's something that you just need to see in order to fully appreciate just how terrible it is. Anywho, what other films would you say has a horrible ending? Maybe one that, much like Skyline, was so bad that it made the rest of the movie completely unwatchable. Thanks, and keep up the awesomeness."
David, what's one of the worst endings you've seen in a film?
That's an interesting comment that he makes at the end, though, that it makes the rest of the film almost unwatchable. I've had this with certain movies. One I'm going to mention is Contact, but it doesn't ruin the whole movie experience for me. Contact was with Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey, about this woman who finds this signal, and there's plans to build this device that maybe can take them to another dimension or another place in space and time, and the whole thing is about them building it and building it and building it, and then they build it and she goes through it, and then the reveal, which maybe if you haven't seen it, go see it for yourself, is a little underwhelming for a lot of people. But I don't think it ruined the journey there. I still enjoy all the pieces that lead up to it, but yeah, I felt the ending for me in Contact was just a little weak. The payoff wasn't there. You have all this hype for this, like, what are they going to discover? What's on the other side? It's kind of a touching moment, but in terms of delivering the impact that I felt like they were building to, it just it under-delivered.
Rocha?
Oh my God, there's 2 of them. Right? Matrix Revolutions. The end of that, you're like, well, why did I even waste my time watching almost 9 hours of a movie if you're just going to repeat and do it all over again? And there have been multiple versions of this. Why do I care about Neo, though? You completely undercut every single character and their value in that franchise by saying, well, this isn't our first time doing it. We've been doing it quite a number of times. And that bothered me. And especially the end of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Just ended already. 7 endings. Oh, my God, it was ridiculous. All the constant black frames and then bouncing on the bed with all of it. Just all of it. All of it, just, gosh.
So happy to see each other, though.
It killed the franchise for me so much. Like, this is why I like the Hobbit franchise better, because it just doesn't.
You like the Hobbit franchise better?
I do.
Oh my God! We need to have another
cheesiness.
debate besides our Transformers versus Pacific Rim, David. I can't believe you just said that.
I
my
connect to the
God.
dwarfs, so to me that's why I connect with the dwarfs. Gimli was my favorite guy in the Lord of the Rings stuff, so to me that's why I like it better. It's oh my God, it's a bunch of angst and running around the whole time.
Angst.
Oh yeah, should I be in charge? Should I not be in charge? Should I carry the ring? What do I do? Samwise, I'll carry you up the mountain.
This is beautiful. That's a bromance.
Yeah.
It was so annoying for me.
Man.
So that ending was just so like, Okay, will you please end it? Okay, the eagle's fine. Okay, now, okay, all right, they're dancing in the bed. Okay, all right, now another black frame. Oh, now he's going off on the ship. Oh, now what's next? And now what's next? Oh, he's going back to the Shire. It just was like, can we just end this
In
thing
the book,
already?
there's even more.
Well,
They could have.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
man.
My point proven. All right,
Yeah.
Dennis.
Well, I'm not gonna agree with you on Lord of the Rings, even though I the endings did have multiple endings.
Like multiple.
I love that franchise,
Right.
and that ending didn't ruin it for me. I have to say that ending of Revenge of the Sith with Darth Vader. I mean, Darth Vader. Here's this character that was supposedly been built. One of the greatest movie villains of all time, and we've gone through 3 movies of supposedly this arc of him changing, and just that no, Padme.
Wait, I felt her. No.
Terrible.
Powerful.
Terrible. And like not only. Look, the prequels are, there's like some good things about them, some bad things about them, but the way it went off was kind of almost perfect for what the prequels were. Just kind of capped off like this just completely didn't fit the tone. And it's just some other, there's a lot of movies that are like, they're just bad throughout, and then when you get even a crappier ending, and a movie like that for me was Prince of Persia. Movie wasn't good at all throughout. And then at the end, they basically reveal, spoiler alert, none of the stuff happened. They just reverse time and they start back close to the beginning of the film. And I was just like, I don't care. Ocean's 12, hated that ending. The thing about like basically
that never existed.
where they stole the egg at the end, and then they basically revealed that halfway through the movie they had already done it, and then the rest of the half that you had just watched was just nothing, worthless.
I felt that way about The Departed. When you see the rat go across, like, we get it. It was a rat. He was a rat. We get it. We don't need to see. Like, Scorsese was like, do you get what I was going for? And I'm like, oh, come on. It was just.
I really like that movie, but I do agree that that rat part didn't need to be in
so
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for Mailbag. Now we're on live Twitter questions. You can tweet us at Collider Video. Sinead, Wendy, what do we got up for?
Oh, neat. All right. Dario JL writes, hey, guys, love the show. So how about that DC The Flash movie? Things looks bad. What do you think?
I don't know if things look bad. We haven't seen anything much from it. I think it's just a little...
Maybe
We're
it's about maybe,
apprehensive
like, the
because
change of directors.
Yeah, there's been so many change of directors. We don't seem to know, where they're gonna land. I'm gonna hold out judgment until I see a teaser trailer. What about you guys?
Yeah, well, seeing Ezra in Fantastic Beasts got me super excited to see what he could do with the Flash character. So I'm still on board with him as Flash.
Yeah.
Even though I love the show, the TV show, and Grant Gustin, but but this constant. This just seems to be bleeding into all the properties. This upheaval, constant upheaval, these changes, creative differences, all these kinds of things. It doesn't make you feel like you're in good hands, unfortunately. And these are such great DC characters. It hurts your heart that they're not kind of on board and having one through line through the whole thing. Like one person in charge, like we mentioned way earlier in the show, Kathleen Kennedy, Kevin Feige. They need somebody in charge who is going to shepherd all these properties and bring them into port. It's just really tough.
Yeah, I have hope for it, but I think I have hope for all the DC films. I think, like you said, it hurts your heart. I always hear like the fans, in the comment section, they voice their frustration and they voice their frustration at us for not giving these movies more of a chance. But it's like I grew up watching this stuff, reading the comics. Like I watched when I was 8 years old. I watched Batman the Animated Series. I watched Superman the Animated Series. I watched Justice League. When that came out, like I watched all the animated programs, read the comic books. Like I want these DC movies to succeed. I don't go to a DC film hoping that it fails. Right. I want to see more. I want to see a new Green Lantern film. I want to see. I know we're going to get it, but it's like I want to see more and more of this, and I hope they do a good job of it in the future. Because like you said, it does. It kind of hurts your heart.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear. All right, Mazen El Arasi writes, in honor of a TV Talk guest, what currently ongoing TV show do you think can be rebooted as a movie in the future? I say Blind Spot.
Currently, it's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Currently ongoing.
Yeah.
Woo!
Got this, David.
Let's
a lot
go.
of pressure.
Golden Remote.
Oh, it's a movie. Well, Westworld, which is already a movie, of course. They had Westworld and Future World. Also, to Battlestar Galactica, there was a talk that they were going to make it. Bryan Singer was supposed to be doing a film. It's been in development forever. I think they need to get that going. That would be awesome. There's a lot. Currently, Sleepy Hollow. I love the first season of Sleepy Hollow on Fox. It's kind of fallen off since then, but if they kind of tackled that in a movie version, kind of bringing Ichabod Crane to modern times, I would love to see like a 2-hour film of that.
I'm such a massive fan of Ray Donovan. That would be my choice.
Yeah,
I love Liev Schreiber and John Voight. You already have these really great film actors in this show already. So to see a film version of that would be great because you could go even darker, even more in depth into the mob stuff, the organized crime stuff, the hidden behind the scenes, the dirtiness of Hollywood. You know, those kinds of things. There's enough to explore with Ray Donovan. I absolutely love that show. I think that would be fun to explore as a movie.
Yeah, and now the trend though, they seem to be having a lot of former movies now becoming TV shows. You have Lethal Weapon, the TV show, and Rush Hour,
Taken
the TV show.
is coming in February.
Oh, is it?
They're doing a
Yeah,
Taken
so they're
series.
using kind of the brand names of movies now and turning them into television shows. I mean, obviously, everyone would love to see a Game of Thrones movie.
Oh, yeah, true.
I don't know what time it would be set in. I'm trying to think of what else on television could fit well. I mean, there's a lot of good things. They don't tend not to do comedies that much, though. They don't really bring over too many comedies from television.
Yeah, because you
to
do. I know
movies.
Parks and Rec is gone, but because you do a Parks and Rec film. I know they're not going to, but it would
Remember they had always
I
talked about
wish.
Arrested Development being a movie,
that's right.
but I just
happened.
never saw that. I'm like, this is a TV show. I don't think it should be translated. Not everything needs to be turned into a movie and vice versa.
I think Orange is the New Black would work well as a movie, as a one. Yeah.
If they ever fixed House of Cards, I think that would be fun to see as a movie too.
All right, what's next?
Phil Fang Foom writes, if Dave Filoni gets his live-action Star Wars movie, what would you bet $1,000 on it being about?
Ahsoka Tano. Mm-hmm. That's. I'll put the money down right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll
Filoni's
take 1,000
such
off both you and
yeah,
Phil.
no.
The question is, would they actually make one? That's the thing.
Yes.
Really?
I think so.
Live action?
Oh yeah.
I think it's a tough sell.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, Rebels and Clone Wars did well, but it's not. I don't know if the draw is that big enough, for them to pump $100 million.
Yeah.
If they made like a smaller budget, maybe.
What are the numbers on the book? If the book had high numbers, then there's
Ahsoka?
interest.
Oh, I don't
yeah,
know.
the Ahsoka Tano book.
I have it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
don't-
I just don't. I don't know if that character would carry over into live action.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still want to see an Old Republic
Yeah, nice little
story.
Republic. But I mean,
Filoni doesn't really. Yeah.
He's yeah.
That's the question. What would and Filoni absolutely loves Ahsoka
Or
Tano.
do
That's
a,
his baby.
Or do
So-
a movie based off the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars was there's such a. I mean, that's still canon. It's such a rich world to explore there. Do something based off the Clone. Maybe people are tired of the Clone Wars, but I think he could do a good job with a live action Clone Wars story.
that could be an answer for the last question too. Ongoing TV series they could turn into a movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Clone Wars. Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more.
All right. Mutaba Ahmed writes, over or under 40% Sing Street and Hell or High Water gets nominated for Best Picture.
Ooh, Hell or High Water will definitely be nominated. I don't think Sing Street will.
Hello, High Water is my number 2 film of the
Well,
year.
yeah, Hell or High Water is my number 1. Sing Street is my number 2.
Oh, I love Sing Street. The only reason I'm saying is because I don't think enough people have
Me
seen
too.
it.
I agree
That's
with
why,
you.
yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with you. Hell or High Water, and especially there's stars in Hell or High Water. You have Jeff Bridges, Oscar nominated, Chris Pine,
Right.
Ben Foster. Hell or High Water.
Me?
Yeah, you're in
You're
there.
in Hell or High Water?
Yeah, yeah. Didn't you see
I'm
him?
with Jeff Bridges. I'm
Yeah.
riding with him the whole time.
Oh, you're being funny. I thought you were actually really in the movie. I was like, oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Hell or High Water, I'd give like 80%. It's gonna get nominated. Sing Street, maybe 40%. Yeah. If he says over under 40, I'd say under for Sing Street, over for Hell or High Water.
yeah.
Yeah, I take those odds. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'd say 100% for Hell or High Water.
really?
Yeah, I do.
100%?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's one of those like smaller independent films the Academy likes to throw in as Best Picture or Best Screenplay, but they're not going to win. But they'll throw it in there.
Best song for sure. Or if there's like a song or music
For Hell or High Water.
No, for Sing Street.
No, Sing Street 0% will get nominated for Best Picture. 0%.
Really?
Yeah,
You think 0%?
Oh yeah, I think it's got no chance because not enough people see it, and there's no buzz. around it.
It's very
It's
little.
underground buzz, but not above ground buzz. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for song.
Yeah, for song.
Driving
for
like
song.
you stole
Yeah,
it.
Driving Like You Stole It. Absolutely.
Screenplay definitely for Hell or High Water.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinematography maybe too. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Collider Movie Talk. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank the people joining us at the table today. Rocha, where can people find you?
Hey guys, you can always find me at The Rocha Says. They're on Instagram and on Twitter. Love interacting with you guys. There's so much stuff coming up here. We just dropped the new Cinephiles episode this morning where we talked about No Country for Old Men. Just did Super Animation Game Time Q&A over at the Geek and Sundry Twitch channel every Wednesday at 1 p.m. And of course, being on this show and whenever the Walking Dead review show comes back, I'll be jumping on that on Sunday nights. And so that's what's going on in my life.
David.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for bearing with me and all my television references. You know, I do a lot of TV, so
That's okay. Whenever Perry's on, she drops nightmares in every other sentence.
Yeah, so we have a TV talk every Monday, and also let's see who's on that show. We have Christian and Ken Nepsock. We're doing Star Wars Rebels every Saturday night when that comes out, which is an awesome show too. So be sure to check that out.
All right, Sinead.
I'm online at Sinead DeVries and at thatsosinead.com. Here on Mondays, hosting TV Talk. On Fridays, hosting Movie Talk. And sometimes on mailbags over the weekend.
Wendy.
You can find me on YouTube at the Movie Couple channel and on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Wendy Lee Zaney.
And thanks to Adam and Cody in the back and Riley over there for helping out with all the show notes. Just a reminder. Awesome Tacular. It comes out weekly on Fridays on Go90. Check that out. You can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or on Instagram, dennis.tzng. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Videos, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.